and the poem is called Lawrence. On 2 occasions in the past 12 months, I have failed when someone at a party spoke of him with scorn to stand up for D.H. Lawrence, a man who burned like an acetylene torch from one end to the other of his life. These individuals whose relationship to literature is approximately that of a tree shredder to stands of old-growth forest. These people leaned back in their chairs, bellies full of dry white wine and the ova of some foreign fish, and casually dropped his name. The way that pygmies with their little poisoned spears strut around the carcass of a fallen elephant. "Oh, elephant," they say, "you were not so big and brave today." It's a bad day when people speak of their superiors with a contempt they haven't earned. And it's a sorry thing when certain other people don't defend the great dead ones who have opened up the world before them. And though, in the catalog of my betrayals, this is a fairly minor entry, I resolve, if the occasion should recur, to uncheck my tongue and say, I love the spectacle of maggots condescending to a corpse. Or, you should be so lucky in your brainy, bloodless life as to deserve to lift just one of D.H. Lawrence's urine samples to your arid, psychobiographic, theory-tainted lips. Or maybe I'll just take the shortcut between the spirit and the flesh and punch someone in the face. Because human beings haven't come that far in their effort to subdue the body. And we still walk around like zombies in our dying, burning world, able to do little more than fight and fuck and crow. Something Lawrence wrote about in such a manner as to make us seem magnificent. This is a poem which I wrote about the experience of taking care of my mother when she was dying. But I think the moment is quite a universal one, and the experience of caring for someone, caring for a parent when they're getting old and preparing to die. But for me, the poem itself is not just about it's partly about the intimacy of that and the odd role reversal of that. But really for me, the poem is about power, and about the odd kinds of transpositions of power in relationships. It's come to seem to me over time that a lot of poems that I thought were about gender are in fact could as accurately be described as being about power. And the poem is called Lucky. If you are lucky in this life, you will get to help your enemy the way I got to help my mother when she was weakened past the point of saying no. Into the big enamel tub, half filled with water, which I had made just right, I lowered the childish skeleton she had become. Her eyelids fluttered as I soaped and rinsed her belly and her chest, the sorry ruin of her flanks, and the frayed gray cloud between her legs. And some nights, sitting by her bed, book open in my lap, while I listened to the air move thickly in and out of her dark lungs, my mind filled up with praise, as lush as music. Amazed at the symmetry and luck that would offer me the chance to pay my heavy debt of punishment and love with love and punishment. And once I held her dripping wet in the uncomfortable air between the wheelchair and the tub until she begged me like a child to stop. An act of cruelty which we both understood was the ancient, irresistible rejoicing of power over weakness. If you are lucky in this life, you will get to raise the spoon of pristine, frosty ice cream to the trusting creature mouth of your old enemy. Because the taste buds, at least, are not broken. Because there is a bond between you. And sweet is sweet in any language. I tried to write a poem trying to get to the bottom of my feelings about Britney Spears, and in fact sort of trying to say what it is that she is, although she ultimately is a mystery. And so the poem begins with the title, which is the first line. Poor Britney Spears is not the beginning of a sentence you hear often uttered in my household. If she wants to make a career comeback, and her agent pushes her into the MTV Awards show, but she can't lose the weight beforehand, and so looks chubby in a spangled bikini before millions of fanged, spiteful fans and enemies, then gets a little drunk while getting her nerve up, so botches a step in the dance routine, which makes her look, one critic says, like a comatose piglet. Well, it wasn't by accident, was it, that she wandered into that glitterati party of late 20th century striptease celebrity. First, we made her into an object of desire, then into an object of contempt. Now, we want to nominate her as an object of compassion. Are you sure we know what the hell we're doing? Is she a kind of voodoo doll onto whom we vicariously project our fantasies of triumph and humiliation? Is she a life-size piece of chewing gum full of non-FDA approved additives, bioengineered and fed to us by the mad scientists of the mainstream dream machine? Or is she nothing less than a gladiatrix who stalks into the Colosseum full of blinding lights and tigers before a vast stadium of witnesses with naught but her slim javelin of talent and recklessly little protective clothing? Oh, my adorable little monkey, prancing for your candy. With one of my voices I shout, "Jump, jump, you little whore." With another, I turn down the lights and say, "Put on some clothes and go home, sweetheart."